Hi everyone and welcome to episode 133 of the Talk is Cheap show. We've got a great show lined up for you today, but before we go any further, it's great to announce that the man is back. After a 2-week sabbatical, he's back in the hot seat. I know you had a bout of illness last week, so it's great to see you back. Looking yourself again, man. How's it going, bro?
All good, man. Top of the league, flying high.
What can I say? But it would be remiss of me not to say that we got him back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, big digital round of applause for Curtis Shaw of Curtis Shaw TV in the house.
Yo, what's happening?
I'm okay.
You good?
I'm good, man. Looking forward to hearing your views on a few things we've got lined up this week. We had Stricto in a couple of weeks ago. Very able replacement, I must say.
Not bad.
The people liked him.
And Ketia came on for Jesus, you know? I'm joking, man.
You said that, not me. But, you know, the people like Stricto, man. But they're asking when you back. So, listen, we delivered on that front. He's back in the hot seat, man. Yeah, great to have you back, bro. Right, so let's kick things off because we've got a lot to talk about today. News and notes. I guess I've got to ask you. I know you're a big boxing fan. I'm a massive boxing fan. You saw the fight at the weekend.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts, very briefly?
I think it went the way most people expected. I think in my heart I hoped AJ could get him out of there, but realistically it kind of went the way I expected.
I thought he did better this time.
He did a lot better.
Yeah.
I think maybe after the fight was more dramatic than during the fight, you know.
Yeah. Was it you? Somebody said to me he had a Kanye West moment after the fight.
It was a bit crazy, wasn't it? I think the emotion got the better of him.
Yeah.
I think he restored a lot of the pride in his boxing career. I don't think he has to retire or anything, but probably at that top level he was just below it. But still
listen, you know what it is? Styles make fights, and I think we've seen 24 rounds of them two guys in the ring. It's clear that Usyk has a style that Anthony Joshua will always find very difficult. The movement, the nimbleness, the speed, the accuracy was a bit too much. Having said that, I thought AJ did well. He did a lot better than the last time, when really he was pretty ineffectual. This time he did have some really good moments, especially in the 9th round. I think he has a future. The meltdown at the end was unfortunate because, let's face it, he did kind of take away from Usyk's moment of glory a little bit. But I do feel for the guy. The pressure was obviously a lot on his shoulders and it told. But listen, man, wishing him all the best for the future. So, yeah. Okay, that's that. Let's get back on track. Football, I've got to ask you, because I know you've been keeping up to date, the latest versions of the All or Nothing. Or as I like to say, Arteta or nothing. The last 3 episodes, I know you watched them, you told me, tell the people what you thought. Actually, you know what you could do? Just sum up those last 3, give me an overall.
Yeah, I mean, the last couple of episodes were painful because obviously we had to relive the end of last season. I got to be honest, the documentary for me was a little bit meh, you know. I don't think they really delve deep enough into a lot of it, but listen, understandably they're going to control what goes out and what you see.
So basically what you're saying, you thought it was a bit of a PR exercise?
Yeah, well, I think it was PR. I think it was designed to make the manager look great, and a lot of people, you know, like what they saw, and but you know, not everyone bought into it. Listen, it's always good to get a bit of insight into your football club, especially Arsenal. You don't get to see too much.
Yeah, that's true.
Overall, I'm actually kind of glad it's finished because I think it showed a lot of negative things at the back end of last season. I think now we're on a much more positive light. So, but it was interesting to watch, and I know you've enjoyed watching it.
Well, I called it the Arteta or nothing because I kind of viewed it as a bit of a propaganda exercise. But you know what? I can understand. I spoke to a few people that really liked it, actually. So it's like you were saying, it's what you take from it, isn't it? So it is what it is. It did good numbers, so it served its purpose. And like you said, move on with it, you know what I mean? Okay, transfer watch. A couple of things to talk about. Our friend Pepe looks like he could be on his way.
Who? Pepe.
What am I going to do, man? I might have to, you know what I mean, rescind my my Pepe fan membership thing. But listen, it looks like it's going to happen, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think he's going back to France, to Nice.
Although I was hearing something that Leicester are interested.
I think they've inquired about him, but I think the Nice deal's kind of quite far down the road. It's an interesting one. I think every Arsenal fan, we were so excited when we got him. I think we can all see the abilities there. for whatever reason, it just hasn't worked at Arsenal. Does he not suit the Premier League? Does he not suit our style of play? 72 million. He's only going on loan, so potentially he could be back in 12 months. So hopefully he goes there and does the business, and we get a steady transfer fee for him. But it's a shame. But
it is. Yeah. Listen, you guys all know what I think, which is namely, I believe he's a good player. For whatever reason, it hasn't worked out. And I think keeping it brief, it's mutually beneficial to both parties for him to move on. Hopefully he does well there. I can't see him coming back to Arsenal.
No.
It's not worked out. This manager doesn't seem to fancy him. And that's it. And sometimes in football, that's the way it goes, isn't it? Not just football, in all walks of life.
Did we buy the wrong Ivory Coast winger?
Well, I know you got thoughts on that. Yeah, I know you're a big Zaha man.
He's on form as well at the moment.
Although at the time, I was excited for Pepe to come in. And I think a lot of the fan base was. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how that one goes. Yeah. Pedro Neto, I know you're quite excited about that. Possibility that he might be coming to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about why you're so excited at the prospect of Pedro Neto.
I think he's a very, very good player. I think he's got massive potential. Left foot, right foot, can play on both wings. He's only 22. He did an interview a couple of years ago where he said Arsenal were his favourite Premier League
How many
team.
times?
We hear this all the time, you know. He said
growing up, don't get me Henri, Pires, Bergkamp,
So I think he's a quality player. I really do. I think they want around 40 odd million for him because he signed a 5-year deal last year. It's going to make him expensive and probably difficult to get out. But if Pepe goes, we need another player that can play on the right because Saka can't play every minute of every game.
That's right.
Neto for me would be a very good signing. If we sign,
you're high on him, aren't you?
I think he's quality. I've spoken to
this man a few times.
I think he's quality
off camera, and he's very high on him.
I think he ticks a lot of boxes. 22, a lot of potential, knows the league. I'm a fan of him. I'd like to see that deal happen.
Listen, man, you seem effusive, so if you're effusive, I'm going to go with you. But is it going to happen, though?
I mean, I saw a story they've been speaking to his agent for a month, George Mendes. So I reckon the player wants to join. It's whether they can negotiate with Wolves.
Do you think Wolves will let him go, though?
I think at the right price they would, because they've signed a player in Guedes who plays in the same position.
He wouldn't be Portuguese by any chance.
He is Portuguese. So I think the options there of if Arsenal are willing to pay the money, then around 40 million, I reckon you could get him out. So good chance, I reckon.
Yeah, watch this space, man. Let's hope it works out, because actually you're not the only one. I've had a few people ringing me up and saying if we can get Neto. I know James, for example, he's really excited by that potential signing too. So let's see what happens. Last on the transfer watch, but certainly not least, I've got to mention it. Aubameyang to Chelsea looks like it could happen.
Dear me. Do you know what? I've just seen an Aubameyang Chelsea shirt in the office upstairs. I think. Have you ordered one?
No.
I'm joking, by the way. No, listen. Aubameyang to Chelsea is an interesting one because, you know, I've watched Chelsea in the first few games and I just think they're crying out for a striker. Havertz in that false 9 doesn't work. I think he'd do well there. Yeah. I honestly do. He's played for that manager before. You saw with Werner when he was up front, he got loads of chances. He just couldn't finish them. I think he'll get goals. I think he will.
Aubameyang coming back to London with a point to prove. I mean, he's kept it classy, hasn't he, since he left Arsenal? But I'm pretty sure that deep down, he would love to come back.
Imagine Chelsea against Arsenal at the Emirates with him. I mean, that's, the dynamics there are going to be crazy. Right. So that'll be interesting.
And then, I mean, the clubs apparently are in advanced talks. So, you know what I mean? It could well happen.
I think it will happen.
Yeah. I know Chelsea are also chasing Anthony Gordon.
Yeah.
But Everton have said that they will not be letting him go. So it looks, to all intents and purposes, that Aubameyang could be back in London, but only in a blue shirt.
And he's got an Arsenal tattoo on his arm. He's got that picture of him and his sons walking out into the Emirates pitch.
So what's your thoughts on, like, how would you feel about Aubameyang?
I would be.
Would you be upset?
I would be disappointed in the circumstances.
Yes.
Because ultimately he was kicked out of Arsenal. He went to Barcelona, which was a great move. They've signed Lewandowski, so they need to recoup money. I don't think you can blame him for taking the Chelsea move, because he will say, well, I was thrown out of Arsenal. Him and the manager don't have a good relationship. He's 33. Barca are going to tell him Lewandowski is the main man. Chelsea, Thomas Tuchel. I think it's a good move for him. But I think some of the Arsenal fan base will look at it a little different. You know, like when Fabregas went to Chelsea and stuff like that. But
there'll be mixed feelings. I mean, it's not like he's gone straight from Arsenal to Chelsea. Like you said, he went to Barca first, and you know, circumstances the way they've played out there. But listen, man, I'm not begrudging him his move, man. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, he fallen out with the manager. We effectively kicked him out. He didn't want to leave. It wasn't working out. We got rid of him. He's plying his trade elsewhere. Who are we to tell him where to go? You know what I mean? And if the opportunity arises for him to come back to the Premier League in London at a big club like Chelsea, you know what I mean? Of course he's going to take it. So, but we'll watch that space again. One last thing on news and notes, because I know time is running. I come across this story this morning, as I'm sure you did. It did kind of raise my eyebrows a little bit. Arsenal being placed on a UEFA watch list with Barcelona and PSG for potentially breaching financial fair play rules. Must admit, came as a bit of a shock to me. Also, what came as a shock to me is that they're reporting that Arsenal have made a staggering 213 million in losses over the past few years. So I know you were hit with that story as well. What was your thoughts?
I mean, no wonder they're bringing out so many training kits. They need to make some money, man.
Hey, listen, man, I've been spending money in that shop recently, man. I bought two kits. I bought the pink one, the black one.
It's all going on.
I know they got the what they call the Jamaica training kit coming out
this week.
Yeah, this week. I'll probably get that one as well. Exactly. So you could well be right, man. But
listen, I think Arsenal need to look at their ability to sell players first of all. The amount of players that we've let go on the cheap or even for nothing. No wonder we've lost that much. I have to admit, it made me laugh because I'm thinking, well, PSG, they paid 200 million for Neymar. Mbappe's on £1 million a week. Barcelona can't even register players. I'm sure we're not quite as bad as those two, but ultimately, you know, we spent over 100 million last year, over 100 this year. We've hardly sold anybody for a significant fee, so I'm not surprised in a way.
Apparently we're one of about 20 clubs.
And
you were saying that you'd seen something where Arsenal trying to
play
Arsenal
it down and
it's
said,
not that serious.
I'm not surprised.
It must be quite serious if they've been placed on the watch list. I guess, again, we'll have to watch this space. Okay, so that's it for the news and notes. Moving on now to football matters. Game review. Last weekend, Arsenal against Bournemouth, third Premier League game of the season. Could Arsenal go 3 from 3? I mean, last season they lost their first 3. Could they win their first 3? Answered emphatically. Electric start, and once we'd imposed our dominance with a goal after 5 minutes, I think it was. The first half in particular. I mean, I know they like to use that term. There's no easy games in the Premier League. But no disrespect. I'm trying hard not to disrespect Bournemouth and Bournemouth fans. But that first half was probably as comfortable as it gets, wasn't it? I mean, fair play to Bournemouth. They did come back in the second half and show a lot more. But the first half, man, Arsenal pretty much ran away with it. Goals from Odegaard after 5 minutes, another one on 11 minutes. And we've got to talk about Saliba in a minute. But yeah, man, 3-0 win. And like I said, pretty emphatic, very good performance. Like I said, Bournemouth did come into it a little bit more in the second half, but overall I thought Arsenal were very good. And of course, Saliba, the man with the song, you know what I mean? 54 minutes. What a goal that was, man. I mean, it's icing on the cake. I bet you were purring when you saw that.
Mate, listen, Van Dijk, mate. I don't want to say too much.
Van who?
Although Van Dijk, like yesterday, by the way, he was getting the runaround. But Saliba's ridiculous. As I say every week,
ridiculous.
Wow. Get him in that office and don't let him out until he signs the new contract, because your Real Madrids and that will start looking at him if you leave him on that deal for too long, especially if he goes to the World Cup with France. So
it's a bit interesting because a bit of a discussion has emerged out of this whole Saliba thing. So on the one side of things, you've got people like myself, and I'm in this camp, say, listen, this shows that we kind of screwed up last year by not bringing him in before, right? And then you've got people like Robbie who's saying, listen, that shows that, that the club got it right, they brought him in at the right time. What's your views on that?
I'm a little bit in between the two, to be honest, because on one hand, I hear what you're saying. You would say, all right, 12 months ago, you could have got him in. Maybe that would have got us in the Champions League.
I reckon it probably would.
But on the flip side, we don't know where he was at 12 months ago. You know, the fact
we know that he was in Marseille playing very well.
He was in Marseille playing
and Player
well.
of the Year, and he made the French
player.
national team.
Yeah,
so
it's a difficult one. I think they had their eyes set on Ben White because we didn't have Europe. Maybe he felt he wasn't going to get enough game time at Arsenal last season. So at the time, I was disappointed that he went on loan. I suppose we can only deal with the facts. He's here now, and Arteta will say that extra 12 months in France has made him the player he is now. So it's a tricky one, really, that one.
It is, yeah, and I'm kind of digressing slightly because I wanted to talk more about the game, but I couldn't help but talk about Saliba because his performance was outstanding. But to go back to the game, and I'm going to ask you your views on the game in a minute, obviously, but the dominance is reflected in the stats. Shots on goal, Arsenal 14. And you think 14 shots on goal away from home, that's pretty considerable. That's to Bournemouth 6. Shots on target, Arsenal 6 to Bournemouth 1. Possession, again, 59% to Bournemouth 41. Passes, I think that's the most we've registered in passes for the whole season so far. 575. You know what I mean? That's pretty good stats, man. And then, of course, the players that impressed, Gabriel Jesus, again, I thought was very good. Martin Odegaard, Zinchenko, and of course Saliba. But let me know your thoughts on the game, bro. What did you think?
I think the words were light work. To be honest, listen, I'm just going to say it as it is. Arsenal probably won't have an easier game the rest of the season. However, they made it the easy game that it was because, let's be honest, I think 2 weeks ago Bournemouth beat Aston Villa at home and looked quite lively as well. I know they lost to Man City, which everyone expected, but I think after 11 minutes when we scored the second goal, in my mind I basically thought this game's over. I was thinking, how many goals are we going to win this game by? Which I think is a credit to Arsenal. We started the game quick, you knew it was going to be a lively atmosphere, small ground, and we controlled the game from start to finish, really. I never felt uncomfortable. So
I must say, I share that opinion.
I thought it was a great performance. Jesus, I mean, that little bit of skill to create the first goal, that's just different gravy, isn't it? Odegaard, somebody that I have been critical of the last few weeks, saying he's got to shoot more, and he did that. 2 goals, I think he's capable of getting double figures if he shoots more. So I was delighted for him. Zinchenko just feels like he's been at Arsenal for a long time. You know, I'm looking at Kieran Tierney thinking, you got a real battle on your hands here to get back into this team. And like you said,
who would have thought that?
No, people were saying Tierney should be Arsenal captain.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, now you're saying, does he even get in the team? And I thought we were solid midfield, Xhaka and Partey, and I thought it was a.
And I think it's fair to say as well, looking at that game, and it's very easy for me to say that now, we won 3 from 3, but the feel-good factor seems definitely right. I'm looking at the team, the vibes are there. The crowd, shout out to the crowd, they were excellent the other day. It was only
never
about 1,000.
Singing, Saliba song the whole game.
Yeah, and they kind of turned it into a home game after a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, Saliba, the energy in the team, man, the vibes, the whole togetherness is something to behold right now, and it's looking good, man.
I think it's winning. Yeah. Winning breeds that confidence, that feel-good factor, man. You can have a great dressing room if you lose. Everything falls down. If you win, it all lifts up. And I think you see a team now, they've got confidence. I think they've got a style of football. I think the manager feels like that's his team now. I know he said on Sky, the second I came in, it was still my team, but it obviously wasn't in terms of the style of play that he had. I think that's Arteta's team now. So. Listen, I think things are looking good for us at the moment.
Definitely. You know what? I'm going to sound out Mikel Arteta for some special credit here. We have been critical of him in the past. Certainly, I have on occasions, last season in particular. But I have to say, what I'm seeing so far, and I've got to give him credit for it. Ultimately, he's the man that's moulded this all together. Yeah. Things are going our way at the moment, and you know what I mean. It's looking good. And I would add, on top of that, with the possible exception, you would say, of Man City, we look like we're playing the best football in the league at the moment. I know it's only 3 games. I know people don't get carried away.
Too excited.
Yeah, I hear that. But come on, man, you've got to give credit where credit's due, and you've got to go along with this optimism.
Yeah.
There's a wave of optimism going through the club now, and I want to be swept away.
Yeah, listen, I'm
Long may it
going
continue.
to second what you said there. I've been very critical of the manager in the past, and I think...
Really?
Well, maybe once or twice. No, but listen, I thought the pre-season was brilliant. The preparation was right. I think some of the signings have been great. Zinchenko, Jesus. I'm hoping this Vieira can be very
hearing
good
big
as well.
things about
Yeah, so hopefully him. I think we need a couple more players as well. It's just about continuing it. You know, we've started the season off great. We've got a couple more games where I think very winnable games. It's just about, you know, obviously when we're playing in Europe and the cup games start, managing that squad and getting us where we need to get to. But we've started the season, I think, probably as good as we could have imagined.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we're top of the league.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of calling this show Top Gun, actually.
Top
Gunners.
Can we win the league?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
the Europa League, you know? Maybe win that.
Yeah. Listen, man, it's looking good right now. Like I said, we titled the show a few weeks ago, don't we? It's a marathon, not a sprint, and that remains the case. However, we couldn't have made a better start, really.
We're winning the race at the moment.
Some people might say the games have been quite favourable, but I mean, come on now, Crystal Palace.
Palace was a difficult one, very difficult.
Yeah, at any stage of the season, let alone playing them first up, under the lights, you know what I mean, like that.
Night,
so, yeah, man, good things. And well, that brings me on nicely to our Ops of the Week.
Yeah.
We go again this weekend, a home game, London derby against Fulham. 5:30 kickoff. Some calling it the Bernd Leno derby. Shout out to Bernd Leno, man. You know what I mean? He's at Fulham now. Apparently, he's made a decent start as well.
Made his debut on Saturday, and they won.
They won. They had a good win against Brentford. Brentford, listen, man, they ain't no joke. No. As Man United will tell you. You know what I mean? So to beat them, I think they come from behind as well, didn't they?
Yeah, 3-2.
So it ain't going to be no walk in the park. They got a certain Mitrovic up front. That'd be a nice test for Saliba.
Yeah, it's a different test.
Different test, man. Physical.
Yeah, strong.
Strong, you know what I mean? It's going to be a lot of, you know, back and forth with those two, I would imagine. And Gabriel as well, of course. But, yeah, man, so let's have a look at Fulham. 3 games, 5 points. Currently in 7th place. The 1 win against Brentford. 2 draws, very creditable draws as well. Liverpool. Yeah. I saw that game. Their first game of the season, wasn't it?
Played well, man.
He played very well, Mitrovic.
Man.
And then they were also drawn with Wolves. So listen, man, they're, you know what I mean? They're not beaten. They've not been beaten yet, and I'm sure their confidence will be in a good place. We normally do well against Fulham anyway at home, but it's not going to be easy. Your thoughts on the game?
It's a game that on paper, let's be honest, we should be winning. Fulham at home, you would tick that off if you was looking through the fixtures. But there's no givens in the Premier League. This is what makes it, you know, everyone would have thought Liverpool would beat Fulham. I know it was away from home.
Everyone would have thought, you know, Liverpool were going to beat Man United.
Yeah, exactly. And look how that turned out.
Yeah.
So I think if we can control the game, get an early goal, put pressure on them, Leno will be desperate to prove himself. You know, only left a few weeks ago. He'll really want to prove a point. But I expect us to win. I mean, I'm fully confident we can win. I think we can keep a clean sheet as well, even against Mitrovic. He is a different test.
We've got a Curtis lookalike in the Fulham team.
But what do they call it?
Bobby Cordova,
yeah.
Jamaican international as well, man. You know what I mean?
Biting man style, man.
No, but he looks a good player.
Yeah, he's a decent player. He's lively.
And you talked about lively. When they played Liverpool, I noticed a very energetic young team, a lot of running around, quite vibrant. Yeah. And I'm sure they'll offer a stern test, but one that I expect us to overcome. It may be one of those where for the first 15, 20 minutes, they'll be, you know what I mean, in the game, they'll be running at us hard. Mitrovic will be trying to do his best to unsettle us up top there. But I fully expect that once we've, you know, kicked into some kind of groove, we should, with the class we have, the fact that we're home as well, I think it's fair to say that we would expect Arsenal's class to show in the end.
No, listen, I think Fulham will make life difficult. Like you said, they're unbeaten. But listen, we're the only team in the league, 100% record.
It's true.
9 goals in 3 games, joint top scorers in the league, 2 clean sheets. fully fit squad pretty much now as well with Vieira back. So I can't see anything other than an Arsenal win. I think we'll beat them.
What about the team? Do you think it'll be the same team?
Yeah, I would pick the same team. I think Tomiyasu is going to be knocking on the door to take Ben White out of the team, but I don't think Ben White has done anything that justifies.
No, he's played well.
Dropped. He's done well. Yeah. I think eventually, maybe Tomiyasu gets him out, just because he's a natural fullback, and I think when you're playing against the better wingers, maybe you'll need that. But for me at the moment, I think you pick the same team.
Yeah, you can't change your winning team.
You can't change it
unless it's forced upon you.
Yeah.
And I hear what you're saying about Tomiyasu. But strength in depth, man. I mean, he can come off the bench and impact the game.
Yeah.
As I'm sure some of the others will.
Smith Rowe, Vieira, we've got a few decent options there on the bench.
That's the one area where sometimes I do think we do get it wrong. But I noticed in the last game the subs were a bit early.
Yeah, and he brought all 5 on, I think, as well.
Whether that's to do with the fact that it was
such an easy game.
He felt able to do that. But I'd like to see him be a bit more proactive going forward. Because there are going to be games when the subs will need to impact the game.
Yeah. I think some people, I saw a few people saying that when the subs came on, the level dropped a little bit.
It can do. I mean, listen, when you're 3-0 up, and, let's face it, I don't want to sound disrespectful and say we were coasting, but you know what I'm saying.
We were, though, weren't we?
Again, his words, not mine.
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying, like, it's inevitable in some ways that the levels can
Take
drop.
Your foot
because
off the gas a bit.
It's not even so much that your foot's coming off the gas. I think the players coming in, you're winning, so you haven't got to chase the game.
Yeah.
The players coming in are going to take a little while and getting up to speed. So that might drop the level ever so slightly, but not in a way that you think, oh man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to fall right off the cliff. So, but
it's just one of them,
yeah. So you go with the same team?
I go with the same team.
Same formation?
Yeah. I think, Jesus. The one thing for me, I was a bit gutted that Jesus' goal was disallowed.
Oh man, I meant to ask you about it. That was, come on.
I mean, when they zoomed in on that picture, I was like, is this Minecraft? It was all like, it was all distorted. I was like, how can he give that offside?
And I tell you what, I'm sure you saw Marcus Rashford's goal against Liverpool. What was the difference?
Same thing.
And we were being told that they were going to start having an emphasis on the attacking side. So when it's millimetres like that, give it to the attacking team.
Ridiculous.
It's in the interest of the game as well. I'm not just talking of this because it was an Arsenal goal or, It's in the interest of the game to have more goals scored, man. To rule it out on what was that?
It was embarrassing. You couldn't even tell whether
you couldn't tell at all. You had to look at that 100 times.
Yeah.
What was it? 2 millimetres? Come on, bro.
Yeah, it was poor.
And like I said, when you saw the Rashford goal last night, which to me that was a goal.
Yeah.
What was the difference?
It looked the same, didn't it?
That was poor by the VAR.
He deserved it.
And that was what upset me as well, because the man deserved it.
Yeah.
And that's what you want with the Premier League. You want goals. It was a great goal. Come on, man. Yeah. Do the right thing in the interest of the game.
Yeah, it was a bad one.
But he still had a great game, though, Jesus. And we hope that's going to continue this week.
I think he's got 2 goals, 3 assists in his first 3 games, so he started off brilliant.
Yeah. And you talk about impact he's had. I mean, he's just been phenomenal, isn't he?
You just hope, don't you, that, we can wrap him in cotton wool and he just plays pretty much the whole season, because he seems that important to our team.
He does. And that's why I was interested when Eddie came on. I was hoping he could get a goal because, at some point... Because, listen, it's great that Jesus is playing so well and doing all this stuff each week. But at some point,
you're going to have to give him a rest and let Eddie play.
Yeah, so we want to see Eddie. Eddie came close a couple of times. There was a couple of chances he could really have done better, if we're being honest. So I would have liked to have seen him score a goal, but hey, man. Hopefully this weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I've got to ask you. I'm pretty sure I know where you're leaning to.
Yeah.
I can see it on your face. A scoreline for Saturday.
I'm gonna be a bit more cautious than you might think. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a 2-0 win.
2-0.
Listen, I think if we score early, we can do more than that. But I think Fulham will make life difficult. They are confident. They are unbeaten. They're quite difficult to break down at times. And I think Leno will have a massive point to prove. But I'll go for a 2-0 win. which I think would be another very positive result.
Yeah. Well, I'm going for the win, but you know what? I'm going to go one more than you, bro.
Oh, you're going for 3?
Yeah, I'm going for 3 or maybe 3-1.
Yeah.
Maybe Mitrovic might get, get his end on the end or something. You know what I mean? But yeah. 3-0, 3-1. But yeah, definitely an Arsenal win.
Yeah.
So that will be 4 out of 4.
Top of the league.
And yeah, top gun, as we say.
Gunners, yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, shout out to Bernd Leno. I did actually really like Leno when he was at Arsenal.
Yeah. I would have liked to have kept him this year.
Yeah. It's a shame he didn't quite work out for him at Arsenal. Like you said, I'm sure he'll be coming on Saturday with a point to prove. And let's be honest, man, the way Arsenal are playing at the moment, he's going to get work.
Yeah,
he's going to get work. Yeah. So let's just hope he doesn't play an absolute blinder, because you can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. I could see like him saving shot after shot after shot. But I still think we're going to win. But yeah, man. Okay, right. So that's pretty much it for this week, bro. Suffice to say, great to see you back in the house. Enjoyed having you here once again. I'm sure the viewers have. Is there anything you want to say in closing, bro?
Listen, just hopefully we get a win this week. It's a game that we should win, I think. And, high flying, hopefully. 4 wins out of 4. Transfer window closes next week, so I'm hoping they get a little bit more business done.
It seems to have gone quiet on the Tielemans front, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, everything I'm kind of reading is that we need to get rid of a few. So if Pepe and Bellerin, maybe Ainsley are moved on and that frees up the wages, then maybe. If we could get a Neto and a Tielemans in, I think that'd be a fantastic window if we could get those 2 in.
And on that note, bro, we're going to close the show. Thank you very much once again. Thanks everybody out there for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Keep supporting the channel. Keep sending us your comments. We like to keep things interactive. Shout out to everybody out there, man. It's a pleasure. Hope to see you next week. Thank you very much.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.